Good day there, my YouTube neighbors. This is David Richardson once again bringing you something of a value. Yes, the value this time is referencing the Holy Word Test. The Holy Word Test, as you perhaps may know, was a book that I had copyrighted many years ago. I am the author and founder of the Holy Word Test, and I say founder because the Holy Word Test is also now on YouTube. You can visit the Holy Word Test on YouTube at www.theholywordtest.com. That's www.theholywordtest.com, and you will be able to access the Holy Word Test on YouTube. This lecture today in reference to the Holy Word Test is about the first sin that was committed, but we don't know anything about it. Many of us don't know, and we're not being taught about it anywhere in any church or any community, any leader of the world, the presidents, the governors, none of your leaders, your senators, your congressmen, none of the leaders of the world, this world or any other, this country or any other country in the world, are talking about the first sin. No one talks about the first sin, but yet we all commit the first sin. Yes, every person to commit the first sin. The Bible does talk about us not having to commit three sins. That's lying, lust, and pride. Lying, lust, and pride. Lying, lust, and pride. Everyone or every human being actually commit lying, lust, and pride. And I've categorized the world, over 7 billion people in the world. I would categorize the whole world as being just two people: those that have it, those that don't have it, those that sin, those that do not sin, those that understand and those that do not understand. And what this is really all about is hopefully to give the understanding to those that do not understand, as well as those that think they understand and don't know that they don't understand. We're talking about today two sins. We're talking about the ones that were committed by Adam and Eve, and we're also talking about the one that was committed prior to Adam and Eve. How do we get that information? Well, if you were to go to the book of Job and listen at the discussion between God and Job in the 38th chapter of the book of Job all the way through the 41st chapter of the book of Job, you will see that God and Job are having a discussion, and God in the 38 through 41 is the one that's actually doing the talking. And I think it's best that we concentrate upon what God is saying as opposed to what Job is saying, because God is pretty much chastising Job of what Job has had and exemplified, which was his pride. And God does not like our pride, and many of us don't understand what we need to understand, and our pride won't let us tell the truth about ourselves to say that we don't understand, and we'll then do what we call wing it or filibuster, not knowing and knowing that the problem that we're creating for ourselves by not admitting by the nature of our pride that we don't understand. We're talking about the first sin, the sin. God is telling Job that while he was fastening the foundations of the world, that is, while he was creating the world, he said that the morning stars sang together, and all, not just one, but all of the sons of God shouted for joy. And it is those sons of God in Genesis chapter 6 that married women of the earth and created a problem, so much so that in the book of Genesis God said that it grieved him that he had even made man. And he caused Noah to build an ark to destroy what the sons of God had put up on this earth with the women of the world, or the women that was born to the men of the world. And he destroyed the world with water in the book of Genesis using Noah, and Noah in turn carried whatever God instructed him to carry on the ark. And as a result of Noah carrying what he carried on the ark, we are then in this present world receive Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know what Sodom and Gomorrah took place. God destroyed that with fire. He destroyed the first sin that was created by the sons of God with water, and he destroyed the second sin that was created by the sons of God with fire. And he has not yet done anything about the sin that the sons of God has created in this world. You see, there's only three worlds, and that's the past, the present, and the future. And we're living in the present world, and the sin that are being committed today that was left by the sons of God is still being committed. That is, the men are marrying men, and women are marrying women, and men are going with sleeping with men. That's all men of all kinds of leaders all over the world, because they don't know about the sin that was committed by the sons of God who was shouting for joy as God was creating this world according to God. So the information that we're talking about is not a guess. It's right in the Bible that God is telling you and I that while he was creating the entire world, that the sons of God were shouting for joy as he was creating the world, and they left their own habitation according to the book of Jude, verse 6 and 7. They left their own habitation and came to the earth, and as a result of coming to the earth, they were here before God decided to rest and form Adam. You see, Adam was formed after God rested, but when God rested, the Son of God had already left their habitation and came to the earth. And after God created Adam, and Adam then procreated through having sons and daughters according to the Bible, even after Adam and Cain had killed Abel and Seth. After Seth was born, Adam and Eve still had sons and daughters, and the earth, according to Genesis, was populated by that process, and the daughters to those men that were born to those men then mated with the sons of God, creating a habit for God, and that still lives today. We'll find in the new world, in the present world, in the book of Genesis chapter 19, that the daughters of Lot, and Lot was found to be the only righteous man that was in Sodom and Gomorrah, but even the only righteous man coming out of Sodom and Gomorrah, daughters decided that they would have children, and you see that in chapter 19 of the book of Genesis. They would have children, the Moabites and Ammonites, by their father, in order that, according to them, that his seed was continuing to live. And the seed is still living today. That is, that men are still marrying men and going with boys and girls and women. The lesbians and your gay men are still here today, and that sin isn't an abomination to God. God destroyed it 2 times already, and I can assure you that when we leave this present world, in order to go into the next world, the world that's going to have eternity, those that are practicing that practice will not be there, and be just like the ones, or joining the ones that sin in the old world, according to the book of 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4, chapter 2 verse 4 of the second book of Peter. He's saying that the angels that sin are chained under darkness until eternity. You see that same story in the book of Jude, that the angels that left their own estate are chained under darkness until the great judgment. And those that are sitting in the present world will join those that sinned in the old world, and they will be chained under darkness through eternity. So I can recommend to those of you who call yourselves leaders, and those of you who in the church, especially calling yourselves leader, don't practice the deadly sin, and then have your parishioners that follow you thinking that one thing and you are doing another. That's a deadly sin and an abomination to God. And you leaders in the so-called governments that are making laws to enhance and support that practice, you too are just as worse off as those that are practicing it. That's according to the Bible. I didn't say that. You can read it for yourself in the Bible, and I do recommend very strongly that you take time to read the Bible before you read the so-called laws that you're setting, because the laws that you're setting is going to get you in a position in hell, a place that you perhaps don't want to be. That is what's talked about in the Bible. Don't hold it against me. Just go and study for yourself. I've given you the book of Jude, the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, read the entire chapter. The book of Genesis, chapter 6, read the entire chapter. Chapter 19, just make sure you study the entire Bible and ask for understanding. Who do you ask? You ask God for the understanding. He said, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone who asketh, receive it, and he who seeks it, find it, and to him or her that knock, it shall be opened. I strongly recommend that you study the Bible in order that you get an understanding of the deadly sin that you are committing and allowing to be committed by the people of the world. Thank you and have a good day. Visit www.theholywordtest.com. www.theholywordtest.com. Thank you and have a good day. You can email me at theholywordtest@gmail.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.